Madison Beer has been one of the most famous women on the internet for 14 years. People know her voice, they know her name, they instantly recognize her face. Yet she didn't have a single song that managed to enter the Billboard Hot 100 until 2026, even though she had massive hits. That misconception makes no sense on paper. Usually, a huge recognition on the internet instantly turns into career success. But this calculation didn't work for Madison Beer. Instead, the opposite happened. Her extreme visibility actually worked against her professional career, because people in the music industry mostly looked at her conventional beauty. And specifically because of that, people created an assumption that she was an influencer trying to be famous by singing, so the audience refused to see her as a true musician. But that assumption was completely wrong. She had a fascinating vocal and production talent since the very beginning. This video explores her career that started 14 years before this day. We will look at how she built a career that mainstream media didn't notice until now. To understand the latest explosion, we have to go back to 2012 when her origins started. Justin Bieber was the biggest living pop star while he tweeted a video of a 13-year-old girl singing "At Last" by Etta James. That girl was none other than Madison Beer. This detail is important because he posted Madison only for her voice, because she was singing a classic difficult soul song. She didn't go viral for her dance, body, or beauty. Her career started because of her vocal ability, but the narrative of the media shifted, and people labeled her as the pretty girl Justin Bieber noticed. In the music industry, your origin story determines your early career. If people decide music is not your main talent or passion, they will question your career and assume record labels are trying to earn money with your beauty. Madison Beer sadly walked right into it. She signed a record deal and started releasing music. But the public didn't focus on the songs. Blogs cared about who she was dating, her fashion style, her Instagram follower count. Yes, she was famous, for very wrong reasons. The industry put her in a box that is so hard to break out of once people make up their mind. While most artists fade away after a few years with one or two projects before disappearing, Madison Beer did the opposite, despite stereotypes about her. Between 2018 and 2023, she built a serious catalog that included a debut EP, As She Pleases, before releasing her first studio album, Life Support. It didn't take long for her to come up with a second album, Silence Between Songs. If you look closely at these projects, you'll see that she literally co-wrote and co-produced her tracks at the same time. She even directed many of her music videos. She was like an architect of her own career. This level of ambition and skill is very rare in the industry. Many artists rely on teams to create visuals and sounds, but Madison was doing everything she could for herself. Yet, the stereotypes remained. Projects received positive feedback from those who actually listened to them. She slowly built a fan base that actually cared about the music, but the general audience still refused to see her as a musician. This reveals a sad reality about modern society. Beautiful women with high visibility often get objectified. The public assumes that because they look so beautiful, their art can't be made with ambition and dedication. So these women have to prove their talent twice as hard and wait twice as long for respect. Finally, the industry showed her respect for the first time with her second album. Silence Between Songs received a Grammy nomination. This was her first massive turning point. A Grammy nomination is purely determined by members of the music industry. It was an objective proof of her talent. But even with a Grammy nomination, she still lacked one crucial thing: an undeniable success in global charts. She was starting her successful career, but she was not yet a mainstream artist. Then came 2026, which was the year everything finally changed. 14 years after her discovery, the world finally accepted Madison Beer as a very talented artist. In January 2026, she released her third album, Lock It. The album triggered massive attention. The lead single, Bittersweet, did something she had never achieved before and gave her a debut on the Billboard Hot 100. You have to understand how significant this is. This was her first entry after over a decade-long career with billions of streams. Her new song, Yes Baby, hit #1 on dance airplay right after this success. But live performances are as important as chart numbers, as they test an artist so seriously. Because while you can fake streaming numbers or use algorithms to push a song to the top, you cannot fake the number of ticket sales. People either pay to see you live or not. Madison Beer announced the Lock It Tour, which she held concerts at huge arenas like Madison Square Garden in New York and O2 Arena in London. These are legendary venues that you are only accepted into as a true music star. The success of Lock It and the tour, plus the deluxe edition, provided undeniable proof of her talent. But we shouldn't forget that she didn't suddenly learn how to sing in 2026. She was already so talented from the very first day. The only thing that changed was the audience's desire to listen. Her success finally shattered the beauty icon box she was trapped in for many years. But why did it take so long if she already was talented? The answer directly lies in how the human brain works. People struggle with cognitive dissonance. They tend to put people into neat categories. If someone is categorized as a beauty icon or a model, the brain rejects the idea that they may also be more than that in a different topic. It feels like too many different traits in one place. Audiences often demand a struggle in changing their thoughts over a person, and it is actually normal human behavior. When Madison Beer first released personal self-produced music, the general public ignored it as it didn't fit their simple narrative. People wanted her to stay as the pretty face on social media, but she followed a specific strategy to beat this psychology. She just kept releasing high-quality songs and albums with her strong vision and voice. Eventually, the success became too large to ignore by audiences. You can't dismiss a 14-year catalog, a Grammy nomination, a Hot 100 hit, and a sold-out show at huge arenas. Madison Beer's career is a perfect case study of the modern music industry. It shows how early viral fame can be a curse, and how the media flattens women into one-dimensional characters. But most importantly, it shows how a woman can single-handedly outwork the public's bias. Women in the music industry sometimes get a longer runway to be credited as real musicians. They have to fight through years of stereotypes. Madison Beer spent over a decade fighting that exact problem, but she finally won after 14 years and proved that you do not have to choose between being beautiful and talented. It just might take the rest of the world years to realize it. If you found the video helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. Write your thoughts and facts you found interesting in the comments, as well as the topic you would like to see in the next videos.